No, we can't clap because then I'll line it up and the intro will be in it.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Turn up this podcast.
I'm in this for the money and the pussy, and they're both falling off the trees.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 135 of the Reasonable Doubt podcast. As always, we are your hosts, Erect C. Griff,
and J Money.
back by popular demand.
That was all the effort I had right there.
That was
for
it.
Speaking.
It's wedding season.
It is wedding
It's wedding season. It's non-stop weddings for the next 6 months. Chris went to one last night, and he's dying. And I was saying on the way in, because you looked a little rough, I was like, well, you could take it easy at all these weddings,
free.
but it's free.
Yeah, it's
So
free
you can't
booze.
really.
You can't. If I had 3 weddings in a weekend, I would get super belligerent 3 nights in a weekend.
Yeah, it didn't matter if I got tanked the 2 nights before. If I'm going to a wedding, I'm getting shit-faced. I'm
again.
dancing my ass off and sweating.
Dude, it gets so sweaty dancing.
It does, because you're in a suit.
Yeah.
And even if you take the jacket off
It's
and
still
like
hot.
loosen the tie
Yeah.
and do the whole thing, it's still hot as fuck.
Yeah, I gotta wash my suit. I gotta get it dry cleaned.
Yeah, once you hit about 3 weddings, it's time to
Yeah, it's time to, like, it's
stuff
too
like
gross.
mist hits it.
Yeah.
Dart smoke, cigar smoke.
Rough.
Yeah.
I did wear a new undershirt last night. I was gonna go with a bow tie.
Yeah.
Didn't do it. It turns out bow ties are really gay.
They're not gay. You could be fine with a bow tie.
No, they're pretty gay.
Oh, okay. Sure. I like bow ties.
I like them too.
I'm too short for a bow tie, though.
Why? It would make you look...
No, it makes you look like a munchkin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of... Okay, maybe it's not gay. It's adorable.
It is. It makes you want to, like, pinch their cheeks.
Yeah, and it's not a good...
But if you're, like, a tall, big guy, you can be, like...
No, it still does the adorable thing. You'd be shocked.
No, I think it shows confidence.
Really?
Yeah, that you're like,
I think
don't
you can
care.
do it if you're a prof.
Like a professor?
Yes.
Okay. There's also a difference between, like, a silk black bow tie
That's what I had.
or, like, a polka dotted.
like prof bow ties.
Yeah,
different.
like-
yeah.
Depends on how much flavor you show,
Yeah, that's fair.
right? There's actually a science, and I've discovered my science, and I've never been hungover after a wedding.
What's the science?
The science is you eat all the food.
Yeah, you gotta eat.
You gotta
all
eat
the food.
all the food that's
Yeah.
offered. Every time they come around with the like butler hors d'oeuvres and shit before the sit down
You
meal,
eat
eat
every
everything.
time.
Eat
Yeah.
everything that's offered to you.
Yeah.
Right? And then eat everything at the table.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, I'll skip the salad, or like if there's like a soup, they're like, oh, I'll skip it. Or like, oh, I don't want the dessert. I don't want the coffee at the end. Do everything.
Yeah.
Do the whole thing. They paid for it. The people that
Yeah,
invited
that's the
you.
thing. They paid for it, so you might.
They paid
as
for
well.
it. It's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
So have your little shot of espresso at the end. Sneak out. Have a little fucking dessert dart, right?
Yeah.
After you got a full belly, you got a coffee in you. You've been drinking wine, so you get a little bit of the sleepies during dinner.
Yeah.
Right? You're drinking red wine. You got a full meal. Slam that coffee outside for a dart. Jacket off. Tie off. Now you're dancing.
You know what? Honestly, this is an excellent strategy.
This is an excellent strategy. And then once I'm done with the wine, right?
Yeah.
I'll have like a beer or two before dinner with the hors d'oeuvres and
Yeah.
shit. After the wine, whiskey sodas.
Okay, this is a big thing I've like figured out is vodka sodas.
Yeah, I
You
like
gotta
any
drink vodka
liquor
sodas.
and soda.
Yeah.
Don't drink beer when you're dancing.
No.
No more wine after
If
dinner.
you start getting sleepy, do like one like fucking rum and coke.
Yeah, but don't be rum and coke in it all night.
No.
Because you're going to end up drinking 3 liters of Coca-Cola because it's bar drinks.
Yeah.
Or it's like wedding pours.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what happened.
So it's like a
last night.
massive cup with 1 ounce in the bottom, and then you fill the rest with Coke. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's
Right?
exactly what I did.
By the
last night.
time, like, I could get a drink at a wedding bar and then just go to the back of the line, finish it in that line, and be good. I could just do that rotation the whole night.
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like, ask them for 2.
For a while, at the last wedding we went to, I was going up and saying that I was getting drinks for the groom so that they would pour them heavy, and
Yeah.
then drinking both of them. I'd be like, this one's for me and that one's for the groom, so, you know.
Yeah.
And, they'd be
And
like,
then
"Oh, okay."
bust a fucking move. Get a sweat going.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know why
actually-
people don't get sweaty.
I don't get why people don't dance at weddings.
It's a wedding. You have to dance.
Yeah, and like also most weddings I go to, it's just me and 50 other white people.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like I'm in the top half for dance moves just because I'm under 30.
Yeah.
Right? I can still like move a
Dude,
bit.
I was crushing it last
Dude, I was
night.
like throwing out like arms and bringing them back in. I
Were
was
you
popping.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, you
I was
were
dancing,
popping
dude.
and locking?
I was.
Holy shit.
I was doing this little like I was dancing.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
And then, dance with the lady.
Yeah.
I
you
don't
gotta
get
dance with the lady.
that's actually one thing I really don't get at weddings is people that don't dance with their lady.
Dude, my uncle, I can probably say his name on here. He probably doesn't listen. My uncle Armindo,
Yeah.
he's Portuguese, and my aunt Brett.
Yeah.
They fucking, like, anytime I've seen them at an event, they dance so hard together. Like, they go fucking hard. They got,
Yeah.
like, moves and shit they
Yeah,
can
they've
do.
got like a synchronized thing.
They got a whole thing, and they just do it, and like it doesn't matter. Like they'll do it off on the side of the dance floor,
Yeah,
and
that's
no
for
one
them.
watching them. Yeah, that's fully for them.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we love dancing. Like it's so good.
I just always feel bad when it's like the first slow song, right, where everyone goes to like dance with their like the couples pair off and dance.
Yeah.
And then there's the one guy who like brought his wife or his girlfriend. He's like, "Fuck no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
Sit down."
sit down, sit
And then
down.
she's just like sat there watching everyone dance.
Sit down. I don't love you. You know that.
Yeah, I love you, but not that much.
No,
Not enough to look soft in front of my boys.
Yeah, I'm not doing this shit.
And also, I love another thing I love about weddings is all the old people, because all the tables usually get pushed to the side, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a ring of chairs.
All the old people who just
All the old
watch.
people that can't dance anymore, and God bless them because they probably would if they could.
Yeah.
They just sit there and watch you dance.
Yeah, it's hilarious. They're like creepy little perverts.
Yeah, they're like creepy. We were doing a move at the last wedding we were going to where you were like stomping your foot a little, and I
Yeah.
was like
Oh,
doing a
yeah,
crank
yeah.
on your knee, and you were like stomping harder and
Yeah.
harder as I was cranking you up. And then I look over and there's like 3 old dudes clapping. They're like, "Oh!"
So good.
Yeah, they're like, "Fucking yeah!"
Wow, that is a cool one.
I'm gonna remember that.
The next time I move.
We used to do this one. We did this one at like school dances and stuff. Where you'd go up to behind one of your boys, and you like it looked like you're turning a key, like they're the toys that you
Yeah.
crank up, and you like crank them up, and then you pull it out, and then they go like. It's like you're powering up your boy to start dancing.
Wow, that's fucking epic.
Yeah, all dance moves are better if it's involving other people.
Yeah, it's fun. That's the thing. Like, if you're actually... That's why you should go with a date to a wedding.
Yeah, showing up stag is like, unless you plan on slaying out the wedding.
That's the thing. There's a line.
Okay, if you're showing up stag to a wedding and you're not with someone,
It's got to be a big wedding. Like, last night I was at a
Yeah.
wedding with, like, 40 people.
yeah,
Not a big wedding.
not big enough for that.
Yeah, but there was 3 people who were all, like, childhood friends.
Okay,
And they were all singles. Mm-hmm. So, like, they just...
yeah, they just hang out.
Yeah.
But like if it's a wedding of like 200 people,
Yeah.
you show up stag.
You can show up stag. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
But you also have to gently broach the subject. Like if you're on the bride's side, it's probably pretty easy.
Yeah.
But if you're on the groom's side, you got to
gotta be
figure
like-
out if there are single bridesmaids.
Yeah, be like, who is single at this wedding?
Yeah, who's
Who's
single
not bringing it?
and like who's approachable,
Yeah.
right? Like what should I do?
I actually
Because you got to
kind of...
hop on that early.
I kind of like the thing of, like when I think of doing a guest list for my wedding,
Yeah.
I would like to intentionally not +1 people
So that they could hook up with other people at your
at
wedding.
the wedding, right? So I can be like, that.
You're like
happened at my wedding.
matchmaking.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you let them have a +1, they're going to come and hang out with a +1. They're not going to try to fuck that pretty girl at the wedding.
Yeah, that's true. And if you don't really know that +1,
Yeah. As,
It's just
why are
like
you
some
here?
person.
I'm paying for you. No.
yeah.
I'd rather, like, one of my
Like-
boys be like, dude, I slayed at your wedding. And it'd be like, yo, sick. That's great. I'm super
I'm
happy.
so happy for
Yeah.
you. You owe me $200
Yeah.
because I did that for you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, dude.
Yeah, you gotta like scoot up to the single bridesmaid like right after the ceremony when emotions are high,
Immediately.
And like just
Immediately
pass her
get
a
on.
drink and be like, man, that really makes you believe in love, eh?
Yeah. Wow, that's a great line. That's fucking boys and girls. If you're listening, that is one
That's
for the
the
bank.
line. You can use that
is-
one.
Yeah, that is the fucking dank move. Holy shit!
Get her a drink without asking.
Yeah,
just show up.
just show
with it.
up. Yeah, it's got to be like gin and tonic, something easy. Like,
Because if she's like a single girl at a wedding, she's probably going to be emotional,
yeah, exactly.
right?
And
she's
now
already teetering on that edge.
Yeah, that's perfect. Especially if you see her eyes like welling up with tears.
Yeah, which they
Jump
would.
in.
It's, yeah,
That's
jump
the time
in.
to jump
Just like,
in.
hey, it's all right. Really makes you believe in love.
Bring a couple little cocktail napkins for her to dab her eyes.
Oh, yeah. Now you're thoughtful.
You are pounding that tonight.
Just hand the napkins. Be like, hey, I know you probably spent a lot of money on that makeup today.
Yeah. Oh my god. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then after she dabs, be like, it looks great. You still look great.
Yeah. Why do I have more game now that I'm not single?
Because we can't. I know. I fucking.
Yo, when I was
hate
single,
it.
I fucking sucked at it.
Dude, now I look at me now and I'm like, I'm so smooth talking now.
Well, because there's no stakes.
Yeah, there's no stakes. You have no skin in the game. You're like,
not
I
at
don't
all.
fucking care what
I'm
happens.
like a coach.
Yeah.
I'm not playing anymore, but I'll give pointers.
Yeah.
Like when I was single, like in that scenario, I'd just be like, wow, your tits are just wow.
Wow, they're so big.
She's like puts one hand on the pepper spray. I'm like, cool, I'll be over here.
I'll leave, man.
I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'd get that far. I'd just sit down at the table with all
Yeah,
my
I
other
know.
friends
I
and be
barely
like,
spoke to
you just
him,
want to
dude.
get like belligerently drunk?
Dude, sitting down at a table full of girls and like looking at a girl and being like,
Laughing at shit that's not jokes.
that's not jokes, and you do this creepy fucking psycho smile.
So yeah, like I moved back in with my grandparents, but then like I moved back in with my parents again because everything got good, and you're like, ah, no way. That's crazy.
Yeah, my dad quit drinking, so I moved home, and you're like, wow, you're hilarious. And she's like,
You got
"Holy
pretty
fuck."
eyes. You know?
You got pretty eyes. Yo, you like Wendy's?
Stupid fucking joke. Yeah, just like I knew my dad's drinking was out of control when he got that revolver from under the seat. And you're like, revolver? I hardly know her. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I remember so many times like going out with you and like an unspecified number of dudes. It could be like just me and you or like fucking 10 of us. And we're like, we are cruising tonight. I got my good shirt on.
Never
I got
happened.
like a good cologne on.
Yeah.
Like we are picking up mad bitches tonight. Like,
Yeah.
that is the plan. And then we get there, we all sit down, we have like 3 beers, and you're like, you know what would be better than that actually? Just getting really drunk. Just hanging out with you
Well,
guys.
because we'd go in and we'd be like, okay, yeah, we're dancing, we're in this place. And then we'd grab beers, and then there'd be like, oh, that booth's open. And we'd all be
Well,
like,
my knees
I would
kinda
love to sit down. My knees kind of hurt. And we'd all sit down, and then we'd be like,
it's
you know
over.
what? Let's just all hang
Yeah,
out.
like
here.
I'd actually rather hang out with just all you guys. That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of fun.
There's some girl come up, and you're like, I'm with the boys.
Unless you got 9 friends, fuck off.
Yeah, we can't do this. Not one of us can't leave. That's rude.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
we're not splitting the group up.
I did fucking not show up the one time.
Mm-hmm.
We were a threesome, and then there was a threesome of girls.
Yeah,
I apologize.
that's okay.
Yeah.
I understand. It happens, you know?
To tell you folks the story.
No, we don't need to go too
You don't
far.
want to go?
No.
It's hilarious. Let me tell it.
I mean, yeah, it's so long ago, fucking whatever.
It's so funny. Okay, so Josh and one of our boys, Brian, are with these 2 girls, and they're like hanging out, and I am like drunk,
Annihilated.
like drunk, and this fucking all I remember is hearing Ryan yell over at me, like you and Ryan are yelling,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look over, and I see, like, you guys are very obviously paired up with a
Yeah.
girl each. And Ryan's like, points at this girl.
A third girl, their roommate. The three of them
live together. The three of us live together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
And you looked at us, you locked eyes with her because she was looking at you. You looked back at us, frowned, and went, mm-mm. And she was not an unattractive lady.
Yeah,
there was no reason.
He found her Instagram like the next day and showed it to me, and I was like, "Wow, that girl is fucking gorgeous."
Don't know why he did that.
I don't know why, but I was just like, "No."
I remember hands on my head, like, "Oh no."
I remember seeing him be like, "Oh my god, what have you done?" And that was the end of it, right? They immediately were like, "We're done here."
Yeah. Well, you shattered her fucking feelings. You destroyed her.
You know what, though? That girl was super beautiful. She needed it one time in her life.
I mean, you're doing a solid.
Yeah, like what she probably has never been shut down.
To be
since.
honest, I think it's maybe one of the drunkest I've ever seen you. I don't think you would have put up a
I was in the middle of a club, in the middle of a dance floor, surrounded by people, dancing with myself with a fucking Guinness in my hand.
It was at Jack's. I don't know where you found it.
I don't even know where I got a Guinness.
I don't know where you found that.
Yeah, and I was in the middle.
Was it in
of
a glass?
Floor,
I can't remember. Was it a glass
or
a can?
It was in a can.
Where'd you get that?
And I was just dancing with my Guinness in the middle. I have no idea.
I don't know.
No idea.
I distinctly, and I kind of miss it sometimes. I haven't gone dancing in a while.
Yeah.
Right? But I miss being so fucked up on the dance floor that I'm definitely making an ass of myself. And I just don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Because everything's just swimming in my head. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Eyes are closed. You just feel
yeah,
in your chest. You're like,
dude, I was talking.
You're not
about
even
this.
doing moves. You're just wiggling.
I was talking about this last night. That is a vibe it is. You're swimming in the crowd.
Yeah,
you're just there, and you're
getting bumped. You're bumping into people. Nobody cares.
No one's
gonna try and fight you because you brush shoulders. Yeah. Everyone's drinks are spilling. You don't care.
Yeah, no one fucking cares.
And you're not even doing dance moves. You're just gyrating to the beat. And then you do that for 3 songs, and you're like, holy fuck, okay.
Wow, I think I stopped breathing there.
Yeah, and then you think about it too hard, and the only thing you've breathed in is other people's breath.
Oh, so gross.
That is gross. You got a thing for breath, too.
Yeah, I'm really grossed out by
breath.
Other people's breath. It's gnarly. I remember one time this very small Portuguese girl I was dancing with, she, I think she hit a weed vape or something, when they first came out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Oh, back when they were huge.
When people made them in their houses. It wasn't legal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, half of them were bombs.
Yeah,
if you turned them on too long, they just catch fire.
Yeah, or I think you'd order them online back then. It was maybe.
Yeah, from some random dude in China.
Yeah, it was here's a weed vape. It's I've never heard of good Chinese marijuana.
Yeah. It's don't worry about what's in that oil.
But fucking... I remember being on the dance floor, and this girl, I see her doing something. She's like, come here, this little Portuguese girl. And she's like, come here. And I, lean down, and I think she was trying to give me a toke.
Yeah.
In the way that they do in movies where they exhale into your mouth.
Ew.
You ever seen this? When girls, take a toke and then...
Yeah, and then you...
Yeah.
But your lungs have already...
Yeah, I know. It works kind of with smoke because, you don't absorb all of it.
I mean, I guess if you didn't inhale, if you just, brought it into your mouth and then...
So I think that's what she was doing, but I have my breath thing.
Yeah.
And so she, I thought she went to give me a kiss, and then she breathed into my mouth, and and then I spit on the floor in front of her. And it was just an instant reaction.
Just many stories of Christian being rude to women.
I did not get laid that night.
No. I can't imagine I'm going to kiss this person because you close your eyes, your mouth's kind of open, and then just breath and weed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, and she was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what the fuck did you just do to me? Who does that?
Yeah, man, back in the Wild West days of weed vapes, before they were made The way they're made now, I trust.
Yeah, back then, no
Back
fucking
then,
way,
it was
man.
just like
I knew guys who made them.
like we would have this weed vape that was refillable, and there was always like this slightly brown liquid that would go in it. And I trusted that. And I remember we brought it out one time, and some guy's like, "Oh, like have a bit of this," and it was black. And I was like, "What is? Like, I don't know, man. Like that doesn't look like any weed."
That looks like black tar heroin.
And he's like, don't worry, it's shatter." And I was like, "Cool."
Yeah,
Like
and you just
immediately
go
for
with
some reason I was like, "Great."
Oh, shattered. That's different.
Yeah, that's I know what that is.
Yeah, brutal.
I don't even really understand what shatter is to this day.
Shatter's just super concentrated THC. Like, it's not even THC. It's
like distilled weed.
they like wash the weed,
Mm-hmm.
and the best thing to use is butane. But it's extremely dangerous. Like I've made shatter a bunch of times and it comes out well, but it's sketchy. So like you wash the weed in butane.
Okay, and that strips the THC
It
off.
strips a lot of crystals though. It's not just THC. So like you get all the crystals and hairs off the plant. And you want to be kind of fast about it so that you're not getting like all the so that you're not like starting to break down plant matter and get the green from the
like the flower itself. And the,
yeah,
stem and leaves. And...
yeah, and you don't. What's the word I'm looking for? You don't want to start pulling the chlorophyll out of the leaves.
Okay.
But then it comes out, and then you cook that off, and butane is extremely flammable.
It's lighter fluid.
Yeah, so you like at an extremely low temperature warm this, and it vaporizes the butane. And that vaporized butane
is
comes
also
off.
flammable.
It's extremely flammable, and that comes off, and then what you're left with is like it's like a piece of glass.
And then you shatter it.
It's called shatter because it shatters when you touch it.
It's like the meth of weed.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, it's super duper strong, man. Like I don't fuck with it. I've made it. I think I've smoked it like maybe once.
I've had it a couple times, and every single time it was like as soon as I exhaled, that's all I remember.
Yeah, dude,
and it's not fun.
The one time I had it in a dab rig, and it was my stuff.
Yeah,
at our buddy Brian's house.
Okay,
you were there. Do you remember this?
Maybe.
Buddy with all the video games.
Yeah.
Yes, on his couch. And I was like, I've never hit a dab rig. And, like, his wife set one up for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I hit that, and that's all I remember.
I would always make it home and shit, and I'd be fine. But I just remember waking up and being like, I can't remember. All I know is that was bad.
Dude, I don't fucking recall. I'm not joking. All I know is that you drove there.
Did I hit it?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
You just drove there, and I was like, oh, what is that? And they're like, that's a dab rig. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything today. Sure, I'll, like, try it. Yeah. And I don't remember anything else. I remember waking up in my bed at home, like, away in our apartment.
I think that may be one of the last times I bought weed off of a guy.
Yeah, I know. That day.
I think, I miss buying weed off a guy. We talk about it all the time.
We should be buying weed off guys.
I don't even have a guy.
I don't have a weed guy.
I don't know. What happened to all the dudes that just wear pajama pants all the time?
You're talking about? I'm always wearing pajama pants.
Pajama pants and like white dudes with dreads?
Jeans or pajama pants?
Yeah, to you, because you don't wear boxers.
I'm not wearing boxers right now.
I told you got to give me a heads up when you do that. I told you can't just do that.
Dude, it's comfy.
Okay.
I'm hungover. Come on.
Okay. You're wearing jeans, aren't you?
I'm wearing jeans.
You're wearing jeans and bare feet and no boxers.
I like that you look like I'm like in bare feet in my motherfucking
You just threw
house.
on a hoodie and jeans. That's your clothes today.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to breakfast like this after.
Oh my god.
Breakfast.
Okay, and I don't want you to take this wrong because I'm in the same camp. Okay.
Okay.
I got some bigger thighs.
Yeah.
Right? They rub together. I
Yeah.
bust through jeans every now and then.
I know the middle wears
The
out.
middle, like the
yeah,
crotch,
yeah.
right? What happens if that happened and you're not wearing underwear and just a nut rolls out?
Dude, I've had it happen.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Dude,
You're committing a crime.
I had my dickhead come out of a hole in my thigh the one day. And I noticed that they were wearing, but I didn't realize how bad it was.
You're like, I got a couple more wears.
Yeah, exactly. And so I doing my thing, going commando in my jeans. And I'm sitting down, and my buddy Dwayne was like, motherfucker. And I'm like, what? We're in public. He's like, your fucking dick is out of your pants. And I was like, what?
Not zippers up. What do you? Oh,
Might kind of shove it back.
just
in there.
feel a breeze across the top. Oh,
Well, that's the thing is jeans actually are kind of breezy because they're firm enough going down that you get some airflow through there. So it's nice on your balls when you're not wearing boxers. Try it, man. Just put on a pair of jeans.
I've gone commando. It's
In
always
jeans?
been yes. It's been against my will.
It's a great time, dude. I do it all the time.
I once had to go commando at work.
To work?
To work.
Oh, that's rough.
That is rough.
Yeah, holy shit. And in a kitchen? Oh,
Yeah.
my Lanta.
Yeah, because I had. I don't know why I didn't just tough it out and wear them, but I wore underwear to work,
Yeah.
and then the band and the underwear part had separated.
Oh, yeah, just
And I
wear 'em.
realized, because, I'm a dude. I'll wear underwear for, 6 years if you let me. Right? It just,
Yeah.
separated, and I was like, well, shit, I'll just wear chef pants with no underwear. And, man, that was a crazy experience. I felt naked. Because chef pants barely touch you.
Yeah.
Right? They touch you on the hips.
Yeah, but was it good? Because you're sweaty as fuck.
You're sweaty as fuck. You're swinging around. Because there's nothing to contain it.
This is, okay.
Right? Because it's hot, so everything's hanging.
Yeah.
And there's nothing constricting it. So you turn and your balls are like, woo! If you turn too fast, they're like, wow.
Man, for a long time, my outfit for a long time was just a pair of jeans. When I right before we moved in together, when I was living in West Orange, I used to do my day. If I didn't have to go into the city, I would just wake up, put jeans on, and that would be the entirety of my outfit. I'd be barefoot.
It wasn't just jeans.
Barefoot, no underwear, and no shirt all day.
It was denim overalls with one strap, and then his legs were rolled all the way up, and he would sit on the porch and play a banjo. With a piece of hay in his mouth.
Dude,
and then when people would drive by, he'd be like, slow down.
Slow down over there. What are you doing?
Do you know where we could find a gas station? Back the way you came. Your hillbilly interlude.
Dude,
you
I
turned into
love it. I'm telling you, man.
Son of a coal mine.
I used to take my dirt bike like that down to the beach.
I think you're just on a bike?
Yeah, I used to get on my dirt bike in just jeans, barefoot, and I'd take the dirt bike down to the beach.
Something about riding a bike barefoot gives me a fucking
On motorcycle, it's a little sketchy.
Yeah, it's super sketchy.
But you can grip the shift with your toes.
You're holding on.
Yeah, I'd fucking hammer it down to the beach, and then I'd get to the beach and just fucking go in the water.
In your jeans?
Yeah, I just roll them up and then go in the water. So it's
So you're shin height,
yeah.
dirt bike parked on the beach.
And then I'd get out and then I'd fucking ride around, take a long way back to the house. And I'd dry the jeans off a little bit.
The barefoot on the bike freaks me out. The ass denim bike seat. That freaks me out. You're you're so close to being a nudist. This might be you're testing the waters right now.
No, it's
not.
not.
What if I just was wearing underwear? And then I don't even like wearing a shirt. And then one day you're like, oh, I gotta swim, but I can't get my jeans dirty. I can't get them wet.
Well, no.
And then you're just as the day you were
I've
born.
swam in the lake. I've swam in the lake butt ass naked.
I mean,
more
skinny
times than I
dip.
can count.
It's a fantastic feeling.
It's great. You're free.
It actually is the most
You're I'm free, motherfucker.
if you go out.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't like doing this, but I like doing this. If I can swim to where I can't touch, where it's 3
Can't see and
feet,
can't touch. Yeah.
and I just drop my head below it,
and you're just naked.
and then
in
just
the water.
spread out, and I'm surrounded on all sides by water. All of my appendages are just as out as they can be.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And then a sea beastie just grabs me by the foot.
Yep. Done. That's the end.
It's like sleeping in the rain, or not sleeping, swimming in the rain.
Dude, swimming in the rain is a blast.
You're this high Like
Yeah.
the water's over your lips, but under
Yeah.
your nose.
Yeah, you're like an alligator.
Everyone's having a fun day on the beach, and I'm stalking prey. Slowly moving. Like there's like people at the edge of the water, and you're thinking about like gator rolling them in.
Yeah, just grab him and start spinning
You're
around.
naked.
Naked, but you're in like Lake Huron. It's crystal
Yeah, you're like
clear.
Grand Band.
Everyone can see.
Everyone
that
at lifeguards got eyes on you. You're just like ass cheeks hanging out of the water.
Dude, I was in the water the one day at Grand Bend, and this girl came walking into me. Like, I was looking towards the waves.
Yeah.
And she comes out, and she's like... I look back, there's a wave, and she's like, wow, it's a beautiful day. And I like can't really see most of her. I just see like kind of the top of her head because of the wave.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, it's great. And like look back towards the waves because I'm being autistic about the waves.
Yeah, of course.
And she comes up, and this girl's butt-ass naked on Grand Bend Beach.
You can't do that.
I think you can.
No. There's no way.
They can be topless.
They can be topless.
So
yeah.
anyway, she comes
You
out.
can't be clam out.
She comes out and like starts hanging out with me out there playing in the waves, and it took me a minute, and I was like,
That must
"This
have been
girl's
super hard.
fucking naked." Yeah, I was like, "She's fucking fully naked."
Because on
right
one
now.
hand, there's a pair of titties right in front of you.
Yeah,
On the other hand, there's some pretty cool waves coming. So like, what do you look at?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Both.
I played in the waves.
Just like, hey, like she knows what she's doing. Like,
Yeah.
Are you staying around here? Like you just visiting?
It's like-
And you're just like, I gotta go.
I'm here for the waves.
That's like a 4-footer, I can tell. Where'd you put my boogie board?
Dude, it was so rough.
Dude, if I'm going to the beach, I'm playing in the fucking water.
I'm there
That's
to
what I'm
play in
there
the
to-
water.
I'm there to like, I will lay in the sun and I'll have a beer.
Yeah.
That'll be nice. That'll be lovely. But that whole time I'm doing that,
I'm warming up.
I'm thinking of playing in the water.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
how often do you get
I'm
to
trying
play?
to get hot to go play in the water.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
if there's like floaties or like a football,
Dude,
like when you go in like thigh deep water and throw a football around,
man, it's fucking
you
amazing.
can like go for crazy dives.
I love it.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then once you're like tuckered out from doing that a little bit, get the shovel and the pail.
Dude, just digging a
Start
hole.
Just dig
The
a
guy
hole.
whose wedding I was at last time we went to the beach together,
dug a
like
hole.
a couple weeks ago. Oh, yeah, we went for my birthday, and me and him dug a hole
Yeah.
and then buried our buddy. Yeah.
I feel like an archaeologist at Grand Bend. Because if you dig a hole deep enough, you can find the sand from when you were still allowed to smoke openly on the beach. You just find like thousands of cigarette butts.
Dude, you know what's crazy?
What?
Is we were saying this, we were out in the water digging our hands, like in, you know when you're in like fucking knee deep water and you sit down?
Yeah.
And you dig your hands in, you go down to the cold sand?
Yep.
I was saying, I'm like, how old do you think this sand is? The reality is probably not that old. It's probably like 3 years old.
Yeah.
But
pretty
it's
old.
still 3 years
It
old.
still took
sand.
3 years to get there.
Yeah.
I think about sometimes, because I like skipping rocks at the beach.
Yeah.
I love skipping rocks. It's one of my favorite things ever.
That's a big thing for you.
That's a huge thing for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I won't be able to stop. Everyone will be talking and stuff. I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like scoping out flat rocks on the ground. And then let's like get up and saunter over to the water.
No, but
Get like 5 skips. I'm like pretty good at it. Not to like suck my own dick. I'll get like 5 skips on the regular.
on the regular?
Yeah. I can skip
pretty
a rock.
good.
You can ask people about this. There's people to ask.
There's people to ask.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me this thing.
Sorry, I fucking the mic just made me totally forget where I was going.
You were going to say about skipping rocks.
I'll grab a rock, and if I throw it far enough, I think like I'm the last human that's ever gonna touch that rock. If you're at like a private beach and you throw a rock out like 50 feet,
Yeah, you're like, no one's touching this
That's gonna get-
until all the water in the world dries
yeah,
up.
it's gonna get buried. The human race will be extinct before another man touches that rock.
Damn.
That's a pretty crazy thing. I was the last one, maybe the first one.
You ever think about that you're like, I'm the first human to touch this?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes.
When I throw like beer bottles into the lake, I'm like,
Yeah.
no one will ever find that again, unless they like cut their foot on it. But
When you throw it a foot
You know,
in
when
the water.
when we take our reasonable doubt business trips to throw car batteries in the ocean.
Yeah,
No one's ever going to see these.
Dude, you ever go far out in the
my
ocean?
fucking-
Can you fix
Sorry.
your mic,
Yeah,
sir?
sorry.
What's going on with your mic?
My mic stand's a little fucky.
Is it? We need to get you a new mic stand.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll talk to the big man.
Okay, talk to our angel investor
Yeah.
who pays for all this.
Yeah, like if you go far out in the ocean
Mm-hmm.
and then swim down and touch the bottom,
Yeah.
actually it's like prehistoric.
Yeah.
You're
Leave
like-
your handprint.
Yeah, you're like,
I
oh
was
wow,
here.
this is just gonna be like this now. Like,
Yeah. I haven't gone that far out in the ocean.
No?
No,
The
but I
ocean's
want to.
sketchy.
Yeah. There is Lake Huron, to my scale as a person, might as well be an ocean.
Yeah, okay, so we have the thing where we have the Great Lakes.
Yeah,
most of the world does not have our lakes.
Yeah.
What they call lakes are like ponds.
Yeah. Yeah, like small, like if you go up to like Muskokas and stuff.
Yeah.
You can always see the other side of the
Yeah,
lake.
at all times. And they're like, that's a lake. And you're
You know,
like,
our
it's a
lakes
big
might
ass
as
pond.
well be freshwater oceans.
Yeah, actually. Like,
Yeah.
and I was born and raised on this shit where like I look out and it is endless water that I can't see the other side of.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, that's a lake. The only way we could tell it apart from an ocean is that it doesn't taste salty.
Yeah, there's no salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are incredibly lucky to grow up in the Great Lakes region. I
yeah.
will say.
I lived in Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
and I will tell you that I missed the Great Lakes.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. We
They're
are
majestic.
in one of the luckiest areas in the entire world. We have
Nestled in between all of them.
yeah, we're nestled in the middle of all of them.
Yeah.
There is like thousands of kilometers of pristine beach.
Yeah.
Just perfect beach.
And it's lovely beach.
yeah, that you can just go to the beach
Yeah.
at everywhere.
People in like New Mexico cannot go to the beach.
Yeah,
There's no beach to go to.
because it's shit there.
It is shit there. You want a quick fucking Great Lakes fact?
Yeah,
That I
throw
dropped
it at
some
me.
knowledge on? Okay. So, Lake Superior, right, is incredibly deep.
Yeah, it's over 1,500 feet deep.
Yeah, which is like you can't even picture how deep that is.
Yeah, that's literally ocean level deep.
Yeah, it's
Like,
so deep.
1,500 feet is ocean level.
It's so deep that sunlight can't penetrate to the bottom
Okay.
at all. 0 photons.
Have we ever been to the bottom?
Shipwreck people have died at the bottom, yeah. And we've sent down probes. to
Have
look
we
for
sent
them.
down stuff to go
Yeah,
look at it?
the Edmund Fitzgerald went down in Lake Superior.
No, I know, but I would like to see the bottom of Lake Superior.
Yeah, so they sent down a thing to look for it, and they found it. And the sunlight can't get down there, so no plant life grows, which means there's no oxygen, which means there's no bacteria, right? So it's utterly lifeless at the bottom. So they sent down this probe to find that shipwreck like 15, 20 years later, and they found it, and none of the bodies had decomposed. Because there's
Really?
nothing to eat at them. There's
What?
nothing organic down there. So they look like the day they went down. So the families asked for the footage not to be released because it's like pretty freaky.
Really?
But if you were to say fill in Lake Superior with dirt, right, and all that water rested on North America, the entirety of North America would be 1 foot deep of water.
That's fucking insane.
All of it, the whole thing.
That's crazy.
And that's just Lake Superior.
Yeah. It's actually crazy to me that we have like Lake Superior feeding Lake Huron, which Lake Huron is also like 400 or 500 feet at its deepest. Like it's also
Yeah, and
very
it's
deep.
wide.
It's humongous, and
Yeah.
it has Michigan Bay.
Yeah.
It's not Lake Michigan. It's Michigan Bay. Fuck you, Americans.
Are you saying there's 4 Great Lakes?
Yes.
No, there's 5 Lake St. Clair.
That's not a Great Lake.
Right
It's
then.
just a lake.
Yeah, but if we're taking it away from Michigan, Lake St. Clair is actually a lake.
Yeah, Lake St. Clair is just a bay.
No, it's a lake in between Huron
It
and...
is. It's
yeah.
totally a lake. It's its own lake.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you this.
Do you consider it's Lake Huron, Michigan then?
No, it's Lake Huron.
With a bay.
It's Lake Huron, and Michigan is a bay.
Is it just
Because
it
it's
flows
Lake
into it?
Huron, there's Georgian Bay, which is a large bay, and then the water flows in and out of Lake Michigan.
Okay.
It flows both ways. It doesn't flow into Lake Michigan steadily.
Okay.
Like, it's a bay, man.
So it's
a
all
fucking
one lake.
It's all one lake. It's a bay.
Okay.
Yeah. The channel, the like Michigan Huron channel, that's a fucking that's barely a divide. It is a gigantic opening into a bay. Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck off,
He's
Michigan.
serious
The
about
only reason they call it Lake Michigan is because the Americans are fucking
they needed
narcissists
one.
and they needed one lake for themselves.
Well, we did name Lake Ontario as well. So
Yeah, good. It's
and
ours.
Ontario and Erie are the shit ones.
It's ours. No, I disagree.
You think so?
I fully disagree. I think Lake Superior's crazy.
Lake Superior's crazy.
Lake Michigan's a shit lake.
Yeah. Lake Huron's the best one.
Lake Huron,
It's the best one.
really, you think so?
Yeah. It's huge.
Have you ever been to Lake Superior?
No. Yes, I have.
Lake
when I was
Superior is
younger.
pretty crazy.
I love Lake Superior.
Yeah.
Up there.
Lake Superior is way up there, but that's a cool lake.
I put it second.
I would maybe toss up between Huron and Superior for first.
I mean, that's got to be everyone's list. Those have to be your top
Yeah.
two.
And then, like, Michigan I would put as the worst. Michigan's the shit one. It
Yeah.
goes to fucking Chicago, dude. To Shot Town.
Chirac.
And they just fucking throw Mercedes-Benz in it all day. Like, full of dead people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, fuck Michigan Bay.
And then like Erie, Ontario, I couldn't tell you why one is better than the other.
Yeah, I honestly, I think
It's
Erie...
just industrial runoff. And
I think Erie's better than Ontario.
okay, yeah, sure.
I think only based on the fact that, like...
Lake Erie Perch.
Lake Erie, we can eat from Lake Erie. Like,
Can't eat from Lake Ontario. Or I wouldn't.
Yeah, like, I don't think you should. It
No.
tells you... The like health guide for Canada tells you that you shouldn't eat more than one salmon from Lake Ontario per year, because there's methyl mercury in a lot of the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's weird because Lake Ontario is actually beautiful, and like the water is crystal clear. It is like weirdly, you can be out in the middle of the lake and you can see the bottom, and it's like 200 feet.
Yeah.
And it's, as a result, because it's very cold, full of trout. It's super, super full of, like, awesome species of fish. But you can't eat them because they're from, like, Toronto.
Yeah, they're Toronto fish.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Why get this hook out
I
of your mouth,
think-
fam?
You can eat up by Kingston, I think.
Okay. I remember when Lake Erie, there was a very concerted effort to clean up Lake Erie.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Remember when you were a kid, like you really weren't supposed to swim in it?
Yeah, like, I think
certain times of the year that
there were
foam,
certain times of the year that you weren't supposed to swim in it.
Yeah. There'd be
Yeah.
that foam that would come up on shore from the
Yeah.
industrial runoff, and it would be like 10 feet up the beach, this
Yeah.
thick foam.
Yeah, that was rough, dude.
I think they really cleaned that lake up, though.
Like, this is the thing, is people are like, oh, it was dirty. Yeah, but it's basically a river that runs from Superior to
The ocean.
to St. Lawrence.
Yeah, yeah.
And it goes all the way out. So, like, it's always cleaning.
You just need to have filtering mechanisms.
Yeah, to, like, stop you from putting stuff. If you
It's
don't
because
put
it runs
shit
from the
in it.
Detroit River.
Yeah, that was the
That's
big thing,
yeah.
the Detroit, like, Detroit was shit. But when Detroit fully died off as far as industry, the lake suddenly was way cleaner.
Yeah, it happens really fast.
It does. It's super duper
Like, do you
quick.
remember when nobody did a thing for 2 weeks when COVID happened?
And the fucking channels in Venice went clear and had dolphins
Crystals
in them.
Like, immediately nature was like, cool, we got it. Picked
Yeah.
it back up.
Yeah, dude, it really does show you that humans are a cancer on this earth.
Yeah,
We are-
Beijing had no smog.
Dude, yeah, what, like,
Like, you could see blue skies in Beijing for the first time in like 50 years.
yeah, that's you know what kills me though is like that happened.
And we were like, wow.
We're like, wow.
Anyways.
Yeah, anyway, back to it. It's like, really, man? You think that you would be in Italy and be like, holy shit, there's dolphins in the channel. There's
Yeah.
dolphins in the canals. Like, that's actually mine. The canals are like toxic wasteland normally.
There were towns where just like wood animals were just coming back.
Yeah.
Because no one was driving and keeping them in the woods. They were like, cool.
Yeah, they had in North Italy, they had wolves come back.
Yeah.
And they were like, people heard wolves for like the first time in 100 years. We're like, oh my God, there's wolves out there.
Yeah.
Like out roaming around where they're
Yeah, it
supposed
happened
to
crazy
be.
fast. LA had no smog.
LA had fucking LA had, was it moose they had come in or something?
Yeah,
or
something like that from
something?
northern...
Elk.
Yeah.
They had elk come back down into LA, and it was like, dude, that's crazy, man. Like,
I remember seeing that and being like, oh, we actually can, like, fix all this stuff.
we can fix the whole world.
Because I've always had this, like, this nagging thing in the back of my head that's like, I think we're, like, too far gone now.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the way it was. We can, like, slow it down.
Yeah.
And we can, like, stop it here, but I don't think we could ever go back. And then within 2 weeks, we went back, like, 150 years of industrialization. We're like, oh,
it's immediate.
yeah, it's immediate. We just keep...
You know what we should do? We should have like 2 weeks every year where the planet shuts down. Everyone goes inside and you just hang out at your house for 2 weeks.
It's like COVID-style lockdown for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
So like a strict one.
Yeah. Pick it at like the most in-between time of year.
Yeah. Do
Pick
it like...
Pick it in like fall or something, or fucking spring.
the last 2 weeks of August.
Yeah.
Because then no one's in school or anything.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks of August. We get ready for it. Everyone like stocks up on food.
Yeah, you stock up all your shit.
Stock
and,
up on food. We make
for
sure
2
that
weeks,
electricity grid can still run.
Yeah, for 2 weeks, you gotta fucking stay in your house with your family.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks. Too fucking bad. Everyone would be better for it.
There'd be so many divorces.
Dude, here's what would happen. You would become actually like decent families, and people would be like, "Oh,
It's a mandated 2 week hangout with your family.
yeah,
time.
you got to fucking learn about your kids." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would just have a better generation of kids that would like if they had that every year. From fucking 1 to 18, they would be like, you know what? I don't need to be
And
a
then if
degenerate.
you don't have a family and you're just single, or living with roommates, and you just jerk off, play video games for 2 weeks.
Dude, that's fucking sweet.
That's all you want to do, anyways.
Yeah, it's a fucking great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like literally, tell me what the fucking downside to doing that is. People are like, well, it's hard on industry, shutting down Dude, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point, is that we shouldn't just do that all the time.
No, give it a minute to take a
Yeah,
breather.
let the planet take a breath, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why is that not a thing? That we, like, shut everything down? Beijing, you shut the fuck down.
Yeah, everyone.
You stop.
I think that's
like
the
China,
problem.
The big thing is China and India have to actually stop. Because they're enormous sources of pollutants.
Yeah.
Like, dude, 2 weeks? 2 weeks people were inside. The Ganges was clean.
Yeah, that's true.
It stopped dumping fucking garbage into the ocean. And it was
people.
like, huh? And dead people. It was like, oh yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, bro, what the fuck?
The Ganges is so fucking nuts to me. I can't wrap my head around why it's so holy. And it's so, they love it.
Yeah.
Right? It's their favorite thing. And they're like, and I'm going to go poop in it.
I'm going to put all my garbage
And we're
shit
going to
into
like
it.
burn dead bodies and then throw them in there. And then also bathe in it.
And
then,
also just dump dead bodies in it. Let them like coast down.
Have you seen, I was watching this, it was like a short documentary on these guys. It's like super poor people that live on the banks of it. Their whole job is to dive into the water and collect valuables left on bodies that have been dumped in it. So they take like jewelry and any coins they had on them and stuff once the bodies have decomposed.
Oh my god.
And they're like, and then go straight head down in the Ganges, which if you've looked at it,
Dude.
Jesus, that's like staph infections everywhere.
Yeah, you'd be fucked up.
And he comes up with a coin, and he like bites it, he puts it in his mouth, bites it to see if it's real, and it's real, and he's like, yeah, whoa.
Yeah, like, dude.
And there's just like dozens of these guys coming in and out of the water, just trying to find like necklaces and rings.
Here's what I gotta say, okay? How do you broach this? There's this thing where, like, I, as a fucking white guy in North America, live in an extraordinarily developed part of the world. And we have a very developed way of life.
Yeah.
That is full of luxuries and, like, very clean. Things are super sanitary all the time.
Yeah, it is kind of easy for us to look
It's
at them.
super
and be like,
easy.
"What are you doing?"
Yeah, right? So there's like, you look at them like, what the fuck? But that being said, if I was to look at like what would be the opposite, I would consider the opposite of our way of life. So like tribal,
Yeah.
like mud hut tribes of Africa. like in the Sahara or
The Amazon.
the Amazonian tribes, exactly. Like people who live entirely off the land and are like still tribesmen. Mm-hmm. Like currency is not a thing. They don't
They're
have
nomadic.
this. Yeah, they move around. Mm-hmm. I look at them and I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. And it makes sense how we got to here.
Mm-hmm. It's the middle part.
India doesn't make sense because there's places around the world that are all the levels of development between tribalism and where we are.
Yeah.
And where like Japan is like ultra developed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a gradient all the way through of all these different walks of life. And India is just not on that gradient.
It's like its own thing.
It's its own fucking really fucked up place. Like, it straight up is, though. If you think about it, like, they have their own way of life. And, like, it is unlike anywhere else in the entire world.
Yeah.
Nobody in the whole world. There's nowhere else in the world where you dump bodies into a water and go in the water. No other culture in the entire world.
If they put them in the water, that's not swimming water.
That's no longer swimming water. In fact, every other country in the world doesn't put them in the water.
I don't like Scandinavians and shit.
Burn them on massive wooden rafts so that the body is fully gone by the time it goes in the water.
Okay.
Right? Like, they just put them on like a floating fucking 2x4 raft, set them on fire, and it like kind of goes out when they get a little toasted. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they marshmallowed him.
It's really fucking weird, dude. It is weird in that way.
It is, yeah.
I would like to see India. I would like to go to India.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be such a culture shock.
It would be.
That you'd be like, what the fuck is going on here?
From what I understand, a lot of the Ganges thing, too, is India's always had a problem with, like, they have waste management companies.
Yeah.
Like the way we do. They're just incredibly corrupt.
Everything in that whole country is corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
so,
it is a barely holding on society. Like,
do you think India would do better as a country if it were to split up into, like, 5 different countries and try and stop holding it all together as one? I don't know much about India.
Do you want to know what I'm going to give a real fucking hot take.
The British should rule it again.
Okay, first of all,
Bring them back!
The British ruling India was the most organized that country's ever been. It was the most order and, like...
You do get old people there that remember the times, and they're like, I wish they would come back.
Dude, man, I know old Indians. Yeah. I know a bunch of old Indians who are like, the Brits were the greatest thing that ever happened. We should have never kicked them out. That's their take. And they're fucking Indian, and they're like, yeah, like, things were better when we had order and amenities and social structure and systems in place to deal with things. Like, yeah. Or you go way before that to, like, a caste system that was horrific.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
There were people employed there just to fan other people. Like, their whole job is to hold
But they were paid.
Yeah.
They were paid. They weren't straight up slaves. Britain, people love to hate on Britain because it's easy. Britain was the first country to abolish slavery.
That is true.
And it started a movement of pressing Commonwealth colonies to abolish slavery. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, slavery happened, and it's gonna happen.
It still happens.
It still fucking happens. You can shit on the Brits all day. They abolished slavery. They actually tried to give people things like healthcare and modern medicine to save lives. They did it with India, and now they have a fucking population problem.
Save too many.
Save too many of them, you know? But it's like, you look, India's the perfect example of, like, yeah, Britain has made tons of mistakes. They've also done a lot of good globally. Globally, they've done man, you know what? They fucking bankrupted the world's leader. They were the head. They were the king of the world. Economically, they were the king of the world and bankrupted themselves to stop a fucking psychotic Jew-hating nation.
That's true.
They bankrupted themselves when no one came to their fucking back. bankrupted their fucking country trying to fight evil. That's a good thing, dude.
That is.
They're a good country. Britain is a great place.
I have a hard time picturing British people having or like running India, because if you talk to
sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
My father's father, so my grandfather on my father's side, is born in India.
Oh yeah,
at Brit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. I have a hard time because like if you talk to British people now, they don't have air conditioning in England.
Yeah.
It's like not a thing because it was always kind of mild and
Because
rainy.
it's beautifully temperate all the time.
Beautifully temperate, but it's kind of not anymore.
Yeah.
So when it hits like 25, 26 degrees over there, they are fucking dying.
And people die of heat stroke.
People die of heat stroke. They can't fucking handle it. How the fuck were these guys managing in India?
I know, it is weird, eh?
Because it'd be like 42 degrees there, and they've got to wear like 8 layers of clothing because they're British.
And they're like formally dressed
yeah, they're like,
all
you're
time.
wearing a tie or like a ruffled shirt, and it's like 43 degrees, and you got to stand there in your red coat. Like,
you know what's crazy is if you think about India, Mumbai, Bombay, and New Delhi, or New Delhi was Bombay.
I can't remember. I think so. I think New Delhi is.
No, I think Mumbai is Bombay. Anyway, they were the last like British strongholds.
Yeah.
Ultra developed.
Yeah.
There
are very developed places in India.
Oh
too,
yeah, so to be clear, those two cities are like 70% dependent on renewable energy. Okay, so they've removed petroleum dependency. Like sheer development because they're educated. They have like education, proper healthcare, proper foods, like systems in place, like supply chain in place for food supply.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened? Those places are ultra developed. Gujarat was the last stronghold against the Brits.
Yeah.
And it is a fucking nightmare hellhole full of crime. Were you fucking like? What's the argument? What's the argument here? You know?
Yeah, that's the thing with India too is you can't paint it with a broad brush.
It's
huge.
It is the most geographically diverse country in the entire world.
Yeah,
I want to see
in the top and
and fucking
at the
Pakistan, which has separated off, is Muslim India.
So is Bangladesh, isn't it? That's also Muslim India.
Is that Bangladesh? Is that what happened with them?
Yeah, it was the two sides.
Yeah,
like on either side.
Yeah, then okay. But like that, man, you go from there. You have the Himalayas, literally the Himalayan mountain range.
Yeah.
And then you come down into a desert, one of the world's largest deserts. And then you come into like Goa, and Goa's got fucking like palm trees and beaches. It's like the tropics. And then down at the southern tip, you're like Cape vibes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's got to be one of the craziest countries in the whole world.
Yeah. It'd be cool to do like a coastline tour of it.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to go to India. It's always been a dream for me to go to India.
That is true.
Because it's so geographically diverse, and it has got to be the culture shock. Like, I don't understand it. It's straight up ignorance.
It is ignorance, yeah. There's a lot of it I don't get.
I just don't get it.
It might make sense when you're there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I look at it and I'm like, stop putting dead bodies in the river, please. Like, stop putting garbage in the river. Stop pooping in the river. But I might go there and be like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might go there and be like, I see why this happens.
Would you poop in the Ganges?
I would go in the Ganges if I was there. You wouldn't go in?
No.
I would bathe in the Ganges.
No. The chance of like getting horrifically sick is like actually so.
You just go real far north, like up at the start of the river.
Okay. The nasty spot I would not
down
go
south where they're like peasants.
Once everything is collected,
it's all
the whole way.
No, you go as high up on the Ganges
There's
as
like
you can.
rafts of garbage just floating down it.
No, you go way, way north on the Ganges.
I would go to the source of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nice.
I would bathe in the Ganges.
For sure.
I would bathe in the Ganges. Yeah. If I'm going to India, I'm going to bathe in the holy fucking river, dude.
Yeah, you got
I went all the way there. I'm doing it.
I went all the way to India and I looked at the Ganges from 50 feet away.
Yeah, like, no, I would want to see, I would want to, like, touch the Ganges.
Mm-hmm.
I think
there are places I'd rather go.
Than India?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think I'd rather hit places in Africa before India.
Oh, I've been planning an Africa tour for years.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Apparently that place is
Zimbabwe, South Africa. Like
I don't know about South Africa.
I would go to South.
I don't like South Africa.
To the north part of South Africa.
Okay. Close to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust South African dudes.
I would want to see Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia is a huge one. Ethiopia is the birthplace of mankind.
Yeah.
Why the fuck wouldn't you want to go?
Algeria seems cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would want to go to Egypt. Honestly,
apparently Egypt is actually a hellhole.
I've heard that too. That it's the
like
pyramids and you leave.
Yeah, it's like cool. You want to go see the pyramids? That's fine.
Yeah.
Don't do anything else because it sucks.
Yeah, you literally fly in, see the pyramids, and they're like, "We're done here."
And they'll see you, and they're like, "You'll just get targeted for scams the whole time."
Yeah,
people will be harassing you the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Another big one I want to go to is I really want to go to Lagos in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. That's like a huge one. There's a massive section of the city that is floating
because they just keep building out onto the water.
They just built out into the water because they were running out of real estate and they needed housing, and they just built into the water. That's what we should do here: is just build houses on the water.
That's what the Netherlands did. Yeah. They were running out of room, so they just started dumping dirt into the ocean and just expanding the Netherlands out.
Really?
Yeah, they would like build a ring of dirt around water, drain all that water out, fill that in, and then you have more land.
No fucking
Because the
way.
English Channel, like right where the Netherlands is on, and there, it's extremely shallow.
Is it really?
Yeah, you don't. It's pretty shallow.
Huh.
So they just like started building out and out and out because they were running out of land.
Like, yeah, why don't we do that here with the homeless? Just tell them to get to work.
Throw them in the river.
Just to be like, start fucking building.
I'm gonna pour dirt on you and make you more land.
You don't even need to pour dirt. Start making stilts.
And then we just have like poverty shit out on the water.
Yeah, just do like fucking what are they called? Like shantytown kind of thing.
Yeah, well, where would you put them?
Just have them build stilts over the water.
Yeah, but what water?
The river.
What river?
Thames River.
No.
Why?
The Thames River is beautiful.
I love it too, but I mean, they gotta go somewhere.
It's like, we can't just provide them homes. We have to make them live in a shantytown. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Honestly,
they have to sit there with one boot on, with their toe sticking out of it because it's busted, and they gotta have a little tin cup. They shake it.
I will say this. If I see a homeless guy with like a little hut built, where he's built a hut, I'm like, good for you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good for you. Resourceful. When I see homeless people who...
Where'd you get that tent?
Have been they've been homeless for a while and they haven't set anything up, I'm like, bro, you're not even trying.
You're bad at being homeless.
You're bad, dude.
I would have shelter by now.
I would have figured... Exactly. If you can't figure out how to fucking survive, the very first thing is shelter... Bro, like, what? I'm sorry.
I walk past the same dude.
You aren't trying hard enough.
I walk past the same dude every day, and he's sat in the exact same spot every single day in the exact same pose.
Who?
He's just like on Richmond out front of the Tim Hortons. He just sits there in the same spot against the same pillar every single day, and I like walk past him. He's like so in the exact same pose, I kind of give a look to see if he's breathing every day.
Really?
Because it's just the same spot.
It's his spot, man.
It's his spot, yeah. But it's like on the sidewalk. He's just chilling there.
Huh.
Like, do you sit there all night?
He might.
He might.
That might be his spot.
It's a shit spot. There's no overhead cover. Like, in the summer, he's just sitting in the sun.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Bacon.
I know, like, man.
This is not a good place to be homeless. It's comfortable to be outside all day, like 3 months of the year.
Max 3 months.
6 months of the year, it's too cold, you'll die.
The other 6 months is too hot.
It's too hot and humid. You'd probably die if you're not in the shade.
Yeah, exactly.
This is an awful spot to be homeless.
I don't fucking...
You want to go to California.
You want to go to India to the Ganges.
Yeah, you want to go fucking wade in the water.
That's what we should start doing. Sending our homeless to India. That's a great idea. Let's send our... Yeah, just send them to India. Think about this. Like, yeah, for every Indian immigrant, we got to send one homeless person.
I bet the immigration would stop
immediately. They'd be like, no.
Bad trade.
Yeah,
we're sending the smart ones we have over to you. You're just sending homeless people at us. You can't do that.
Be like, send me your
It's
finest Uber driver, sir. I will trade you one meth head for your finest Uber driver.
Yeah. Can that guy cut a bagel in half? Almost. Send him over.
Send him over.
It's like that time we got caught just dumping garbage in Malaysia. You remember that?
What?
We were just sending over barges full of
and
garbage
dumping.
off the coast of Malaysia and just dumping it.
Yeah.
And Malaysia caught us. And they were like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And we're like, you got us. We've been doing this for a while. You caught on. I'm going to pay him a bunch of money.
Dude, do you remember those American solar panel companies getting busted because they were sending, they're like, turns out solar panels are not that renewable.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, oh, what do you do? Like, they only last 15 years and then you gotta get new ones. And they're like, yeah, like, we recycle them. And they were like, someone looked into it, was like, how are you recycling them? All these, two massive companies in the States in California. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we send it to Bangladesh to be recycled.
Oh, and they're just breaking them apart?
Breaking them open, dumping chemicals in the holes in the ground. They just dig holes in the ground. And then they had, this massive area of Bangladesh had no fucking plant life at all. Animals were dying, and they had no well water. And they were, trying to drink their well water and kept dying from it.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, I don't understand what's happening. They said they were recycling experts. And it's like, you can't do that.
You ever see those guys in Africa that do it with car batteries?
Oh, just crack them open.
They just crack them with machetes and just dump them in the river.
That's
guys!
Dude,
foresight.
I will say this. I will say this. A little bit of me is like,
I mean, we used to do it.
And then we figured out it was wrong. Why do we get penalized for? They said they would recycle it. They send us back the metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And all the goopy, awful cancer stuff.
It's gone.
Don't know where that went.
It's gone. If you can't figure out, after you kill the entirety of your plant, wildlife, basically, all plant life and all animal life died there, and they started dying, why did we go over and stop them? I would have been like, if you're going to do this till you literally exterminate yourself, go ahead.
Yeah.
You obviously are too stupid to exist on this planet.
If you own a home that's, older than 1950, look in your garage, because you probably just have a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
We used to just dump
motor oil into the ground.
Or if you're draining any fluids in your car, you just pop it off and let it roll down.
Yeah, that's why there's channels in the fucking concrete.
You can find old car manuals that's when you're done with your motor oil, dig a hole in your backyard and fill it with gravel.
Yeah.
And just dump that on the gravel and it's gone
done
forever.
Yeah. They thought that you dumped it in and it went back down into the earth and went into the oil fields.
The average person may have thought that.
Yeah.
Anyone with an IQ above 85
was like, that's not how this works.
We're just lying. There's no way that's how that goes.
Dude. If you think about it, back in the day, Mr. Lubes and shit, or what are they called? Take Fives?
Yeah.
The oil change shops?
Yeah.
Those places didn't exist because everyone changed their own oil.
Yeah.
You just fucking went under your car. You parked your car in the dead center of the fucking garage. You went under. You unscrewed your drain pan bolt. Mm-hmm. Took that out and let it just fucking piss onto the dirt.
Yeah.
And then you went back under when it was done draining. Put it back in. You refilled it with oil.
Yeah.
Kick some dirt over the shit. And that was how everyone. They were like, oh yeah, I do this every 3 months. Yeah. This is just part of being a man. You know. And it was yep, just draining oil into my dirt. You ever been to a fucking old, especially if you go to an old barn, where they've been
just huge patches
that are just the earth is black.
Yeah,
because they've been dumping oil there for 60 years.
Yeah, that's the oil spot.
That's the oil, dude. I remember going to my buddies, and I want to say his barn was over 200 years old, but they'd done tons of repairs. And they had to keep repairing it. But it was like founding fathers type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The spot in the garage or in the barn where they park tractors, it was Dude, all the way out to the edge of the barn was like the soil. You could pick it up and like clump it, and it would make a ball.
Yeah, if you step on it, it squishes it.
Yeah,
it squelches
you
it.
could pick it up and like form it into a ball, and it would hold. It was so full of oil. Yeah,
That's how we start fires.
Dude, if that barn ever catches on fire, it'll burn for days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It'll burn for days.
Smoke.
Yeah.
And you know the first guy that was like, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't just dump this in the dirt," was killed, and they called him a communist.
Yeah. You fucking dirty red. That's
right.
exactly.
I think we're there.
All right. Thanks very much, folks. Another great episode from the Reasonable Doubt Podcast. Stay reasonable.
Keep doubting. We love you. Good night.
Reasonable Doubt Podcast. If you guys like funny, hilarious, goofy, goober, silly boys podcast, that is a good place to find yourself.